Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coaching and Consultant Strategy and Growth Show. Now, if you listen to this interview anywhere else but within our private Facebook community called High Ticket Client Attraction Insider Circle, then definitely come check us out. We definitely love to have you. That community it was put together specifically for coaches, consultants, and service providers who are serious about getting up to that 6 and 7 figure level. So if that's you, definitely come check us out. So today, I want to introduce you to one of the members of our community. Whoa, I almost messed that word up. So today I want to introduce you to members of our community, Mindi, Huebner. Welcome, Mindi.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here. Thank you for
Oh,
the invite.
awesome, love it. Okay, so Mindi, tell myself and the rest of the community, what is it that you do?
I use NLP and hypnosis to help entrepreneurs create massive change in their business, in their life, in whatever they want, and reach their goals faster.
Awesome. So what got you started in this line of work?
I have been coaching, mentoring, teaching for almost all of my adult life. And I was in direct sales for over 20 years and my company closed. And so it was time to figure something else out. I took a little break, worked for someone else, remembered why I didn't work for anyone else for over 20 years, and then started a company. And from there, it went from this group mentoring, group coaching down to one-on-one coaching, and now back out to group coaching, just with a different twist, retreats, things like that as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah, awesome. And is your business, do you have an office or is it virtual? How does your business look?
It's virtual, although I do meet people in person as well. I have clients that I see in person, and then I have clients all over the world. So, while it would be great to meet my client that's in Paris in person,
Mhm.
that's not in the cards right now.
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, I always like to joke about the interviews as well too, because it's the same thing with clients and interviewing individuals. Like I think the interview before this, the person was in like Norway, then before they were in the UK, then the previous one they were like in Switzerland or something. And I'm like, goodness, I'm like um hopping
You're a
around the globe.
globetrotter.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
right, without even leaving my home.
A virtual globetrotter. Exactly.
And all right, awesome. So in terms of what you do, what's the vision that you hold for your company? What's that? What are you building towards at the moment?
Really just helping entrepreneurs create more in their lives. So really what I see is stuck, overwhelmed. These aren't my words, these are their words: stuck, overwhelmed. And it's mostly female entrepreneurs that I work with, feeling like a failure, things aren't working. And the vision really is to create more of more for them, so that they lay down those things that are keeping them playing small and really step into their limitlessness.
hmm And why entrepreneurs?
Just because I think that it's a rough business, right? I mean, most of us, we weren't wired that way in the beginning. You certainly don't learn how to be an entrepreneur in school. Mindset and habit change and things like that. Those just aren't regular dinner table conversations unless you're at my house, uh, and so for people who've stepped into the entrepreneurial realm, they deserve all the support they can get. And so I love being able to step into that support role, so they know that they can accomplish exactly what they want.
hmm Yeah, entrepreneurship is one of those interesting type of journeys, right? So you say, hey, I'm gonna leave my job working for somebody else, and I'm gonna go be my own boss, and then you get to being your own boss, and you realize, like, oh goodness, you have to wear so many different hats and take on so many different responsibilities that if you don't have guidance, if you don't have coaching or something, it could be a lonely, tough uphill battle, right?
Yes, and I also find that entrepreneurs, specifically or more likely women, just because that's the majority of what I work with, women tend to not take care of themselves. They put everything into the business. They work long hours. They don't look at their nutrition. They don't look at movement. If we're not keeping ourselves in optimal condition, our business will quickly go to less than optimal condition, to our brain fog and energy levels and all those things. Like, we have to feed into them in order to be able to pour out into our business. And so I am a guide in that as well for them.
Yeah, I think that's so powerful. And one of the things that we do, myself and a few of our clients, we meet like every single morning at like 6 a.m. and we just get on like a short 20-minute call. And one of the things I typically recommend is saying, hey, when we get into business, is to really set our priorities and stuff like that. But I know that, hey, the main priority we need to get done is a health thing, right? Whether it's saying eat healthy, get out, exercise, do something, because just like you said, our personal stuff goes out the window, it just reflects in the business, right?
Exactly. And we tend to also look at that time as like selfish, like taking away from, and so luckily I get to reframe that for lots of people into like, this is not a taking away from, this is the foundation of building that amazing business. When you don't have this, it is when it's not going to stay. You can hustle and caffeinate and sleep for 4 hours for about this long. And then that what got you there is not going to take you to the next level.
Yeah. The saying I love using is, I used to be busy driving to stop and put gas in the car. Right?
Exactly.
Love it. Awesome. So in terms of, so you said, what methods do you use to help your clients? I know you mentioned NLP. What methods do you use?
NLP, hypnosis, and hypnosis as well. And I have, a bunch of fruit salad. I'm a certified life coach, certified success coach, certified health coach. So lots of modalities that I use that way, different pieces that I bring in. But NLP and hypnosis are the foundation, because they create the quickest lasting change. We're literally rewiring your brain and getting your subconscious to work for you, connecting up the conscious and the subconscious so that you start to automate those things and you're not fighting yourself every step of the way.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So how does, with NLP, hypnosis, those types of worlds, is that something you just do one time and you could solve the problems, or is it something that it needs to kind of like maybe say a piano or something to where it's like you tune it, but you got to keep come back and keep tuning. What's that like?
Sure. It depends. So for hypnosis, quitting smoking, that's typically one session. Like we do one session on quitting smoking, if that's something that you want to do. And then we do guided meditation with hypnotic language that you listen to and set up habits to create success in that, being that new identity. So those types of things are typically one session. It really depends on the person and how, you're the magic and I just guide it out of you. And so that's how hypnosis works. And so when that person taps into the magic, then it's one session or two sessions. It depends how deep the doubt goes, the belief, whatever the belief is, how long have they been carrying this around. And NLP sessions, it really depends on what we're working with. Those are, sometimes you come back and revisit because, what do they say? New level, new devil, right? So if you've got some money blocks, getting past 50,000 and you get past 50,000 and then we get up to 100,000, all of a sudden there's new blocks, right? And so new level, new double, then we go back, but we're moving forward. We revisit with a similar technique. There's so many techniques in NLP to use for self-limiting beliefs and letting go of anger and things that are stopping us that we don't even realize that are stopping us in our business.
Yeah. Do you do those guided hypnosis sessions as well too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. And I do those for a group where I'll talk about what hypnosis is and then do a guided meditation with hypnotic language. So it won't be specifically tailored exactly to you, but I'll talk to the group beforehand, what kind of, how would they like to feel? What do they want to get rid of? What do they want to feel? And then I'll put that in as I'm doing the guided meditation for them. So everybody gets some piece from it. Mm-hmm. And hypnosis, we use tons of metaphors, and in NLP as well, lots of metaphors. So we use metaphors and then direct suggestions and metaphors and direct language.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. What about the impacts of it? Is it something that you're aware of, or is it something like you do and you just let go of? Because I know that, especially when I got into those types of that realm, as far as going into, well, maybe I should try hypnosis, try these different things. And for me, it's like going through a process of it and realizing I don't remember what happened. And did it work? Like, how do you, what's your experience?
So I'm gonna answer that twofold. So during hypnosis, you can have an experience of completely zoning out, or you can be like in trance and remember everything that I say. It's really different for each and every person. After hypnosis, does it work? Do I see it right away? So I can speak from my personal experience. I was hypnotized to love small talk, because small talk is not my favorite thing to do. Let's go deep. Let's talk about big stuff and get deep and like solve some world issues, right? But small talk was like, well, that can be quite a hindrance in networking for entrepreneurs, right? So I was hypnotized myself to love small talk. Literally the very next day, I was at an airport and found myself compelled to talk to every person, like just have conversations with everyone. It was amazing. And I knew immediately what was going on. And I was like, yes, this is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Clients, typically, they notice the switch right away, because what they're coming to me for, when I had a client specifically that I can remember, she was holding a grudge for a really long time and it was blocking her creatively in her business. And she said the next day she woke up in the middle of the night, huge creative like flow that woke her up. So those blocks, they really disappear quickly.
Yeah.
And you get to say yes to that. I mean, that's the whole conversation that you're having too, is your conscious and your subconscious willing to do this together? Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, powerful stuff. So do you think someone could do that work on themselves? Like, let's say for you, do you feel like you could do it on yourself and it works as effective as if someone else does it on you? What are your thoughts?
I believe that a guide, a coach, is essential when you're learning how to do something, when you're up leveling. There are a bunch of self-hypnosis things on YouTube. I have guided meditations as well. And I think those are amazing for you too. I think if you want fast, lasting results, you go to an expert and then you supplement with what you can do yourself. And it's the same with NLP. I teach my clients techniques in NLP so that they can do them on themselves. Mm-hmm. When something comes up and we don't have a session scheduled, or they're not with me, or, new level, new devil again. And so both. So you go to an expert for them, go to a coach for them, and be coached through the process, because it's vital to really get that expertise in it. And then once you have done that, when you want to work on something for yourself, then yeah, I think it's awesome to be able to self-educate that way, to do it yourself.
Yeah. Now a question, if you had to look back on your journey, your life to get into where you are today, what's one skill you'd say you've mastered that has you at your level of success today?
I am extremely confident.
Mm-hmm.
To a fault, maybe. Like nothing is going to stop me. It's just not, there's no such thing as failure. Like I truly have mastered it's not failure. I either get the result I want or the lesson that I need, and I keep moving forward.
Have you always been that way, or what? Yeah, have you always been that way?
I believe I have. My mother talks about a very, strong-willed child that did not conform to things, was always blazing my own trail. And so I have always known that I had a direction that I wanted to go, and had an innate belief in myself that I could get there. And not that I don't ask for help along the way, because I think that's vital too, being confident enough to know I don't need to get there all by myself. I don't need to figure it all out. I have my own coaches, several of them. And so, but that has always been, yes, I was probably born that way and just always held on to it. Didn't allow anything to come in and steal it away from me.
Yeah, cool stuff, cool stuff. So what about a story? What's one story you could share with us from your life that we can look back and say, oh, so that's how you got to where you are today and doing what you do? What's one story?
Yikes.
Yes, I love those. I love
Um,
those expressions.
well, going back into the entrepreneurial realm after, so I had my own direct sales, I was in direct sales over 20 years, huge team, trained nationally for my company. It was an amazing experience, and all of that, growing a team, um, dealing on the with customers and hostesses, and then growing a team and working with them. Had I known then what I know now, if I could have NLP'd the people I was working with, and really used all the skills that I have gotten now, wow, I can't even imagine what their level of success, how their level would have gone up. So I think being in direct sales really, and I started it to, have a couple $100 extra a week, right? I had two daughters, and the youngest was 1 year old. And I was like, well, I really, daycare, I really don't want to go back to work because it's not going to make sense. So what can I do? And I started doing that, and I was really good at it. And so I just kept growing and growing and growing, and was with the same company for all that time. And so that's probably the story, like finding the places to continue to grow that way.
hmm And with where you are today, would you say, is this something you planned, that you planned out your entire life and you just work like exactly to the T? Or did you kind of, you're not sure how you got there in a sense? It's just like, I could connect the dots looking backwards, but based on where I am, there's no way I could have planned this. What are your
I don't,
thoughts?
I don't think I would have planned exactly. Not, when I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a lawyer. So,
Mhm.
so I don't think I would have planned it exactly, but probably from my 20s, the trajectory that I was on was some service, working in a capacity to serve and help other people grow. That always like filled my bucket to be able to, fill someone else's that way, to see them make the change. And so probably since like my mid 20s or so, I had an inkling that this was the direction. When I was in direct sales, I figured I'd always be in direct sales. To be honest with you, I never thought about it far enough, like, oh, this company is going to close one day. I just was like, this is amazing. And I'm growing, the team's growing, and it's all good. Like, it provided so much for my life, that when it happened, it was this great opportunity to reassess and take a step back. Cause that's something that we get to do, is step back. We let go of, anything we're holding on to, and then we get to move forward into the next thing. And so some sort of service, definitely, but I don't think there was any way that I would know that I'd be sitting here with you saying I'm a, certified clinical hypnotherapist and an NLP practitioner.
hmm Man, you're really good at this small talk thing, huh?
I got hypnotized for it.
Love it, love it. Awesome, Mindy. Well, hey, if someone wanted to reach out and connect, what's the best way for them to do so?
Sure. They can go to mindyhuebner.com, and I can, we can spell that out somewhere for them as well. I'm on Facebook. You can find me Mindi Huebner. It's Mindy with two I's, Mindi. I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, and there's lots of places to find me, and it's all with my name.
hmm And who's the ideal person, that best person that would benefit most from your work?
Yes, entrepreneur, not necessarily female. Like I said, I work with mostly female entrepreneurs who want change, and they want it now. They're ready for more, and they're ready to leave the playing small behind, so that they can create the income, the impact, the health that they want.
Awesome, Mindy. Well, thank you so much. And guys, if you're watching this on the live or the replay, the links to connect with Mindy, they should be right above or below the video, depending on what platform you're checking this interview out on. So yes, so awesome. So just click on and get connected right to her. Well, Mindy, hey, thank you again so much for making the
Gosh,
time to be here today. Do you have any
thank
final
you.
thoughts?
This was just such a pleasure, and I'm honored to be able to have this conversation with you in this group, such a vast group of so many experts and coaches. And I'm excited to be in here and learn and grow with everybody.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, and we'll talk soon.
Thank